Federal law enforcement and Indiana University have still shared no details about a professor and his wife who were fired by the university the same day the FBI searched their homes in Bloomington and Carmel. My colleague Ethan Sandwise has been following this story and learning more about Chao-Feng Wang and his wife Nyan-Li Ma. He joins us now from the newsroom.
Wang was a cybersecurity expert at IU and his wife an employee at IU Libraries. We first learned something was amiss last Friday when agents from ICE and the FBI showed up in force at just after 8 a.m. in a normally quiet subdivision on the south side of Bloomington.
That same afternoon, IU sent Wang a letter that he had been fired. Ma had already been let go from IU Libraries. Faculty say his firing violated IU procedure and the rules of tenure. Wang's reputation as a leading scholar made his sudden dismissal even more surprising to colleagues.
A tenured faculty member cannot be fired summarily. They must be given, even for the most serious kinds of misconduct, 10 days notice, an explanation of the charge against them, and a hearing in front of the Faculty Board of Review.
Neither IU nor the FBI have commented on the case, but Tanford knows more than most. Earlier in March, he learned that IU had opened a research misconduct investigation into Wang.
Failure to properly disclose co-authors, a mix-up as to who was the principal investigator on a grant. And while these are technical violations of research protocols, they're not serious and they happen all the time.
Colleagues at Purdue said IU had asked Wang about a grant he'd worked on 7 years ago in China, which he'd failed to mention on an application. But that still doesn't explain why the FBI got involved and Wang vanished from the public. Reporters and Wang's colleagues are trying to learn more.
What prompted me to file this motion to unseal the search warrants was there's just so much speculation. Everybody's wondering what the rationale is.
The secrecy surrounding Wang's case has generated anxiety for scholars against a backdrop of unprecedented government interference in higher education, particularly against international students and faculty, many of them legal residents.
Is this something that has to do with like Chinese espionage, or does it have to do with a revival of the, frankly, xenophobic attacks on especially Chinese immigrant scholars that we'd seen under the previous Trump administration? Is it some sort of weird immigration crackdown?
WTIU attempted to contact Wang and Ma, but received no response. Their lawyers say neither has been charged with a crime.
Ma's attorneys say the couple is safe. Colleagues at IU told me they don't know where they are, though, and apparently they're not responding through their usual channels.
So, Ethan, based on the little we know, it sounds like Wang failing to disclose this Chinese grant might have prompted IU's investigation. Now, if that's the case, why would the FBI be involved?
It's too early to say for sure, but experts in cybersecurity have pointed to a similar case 4 years ago against MIT professor Gang Chen. The FBI charged him with wire fraud for not disclosing a $19 million research project with a university in China when he applied for funding from the Department of Energy. But in Chen's case, the president of MIT went to the bat for him. He said the funds went to the university, not the professor, and federal prosecutors eventually dropped the charges. It turns out the disclosures the federal government asked for weren't even required. Still, we're working with very little information. We're still confirming what grant Wang had been working on, why he might not have listed himself as a principal investigator, and whether any actual wrongdoing occurred.
Any idea when we can expect to learn more?
If an Indiana judge unseals those FBI search warrants, we could learn a whole lot all at once. Otherwise, there's no telling when law enforcement, the university, or Wang's attorneys will speak out.
Okay, thank you very much, Ethan, for your reporting.